October 8, 2004. Rocky Mountain National Park, Colorado. 3-year-old Jaryd Atadero vanishes during a group hike with Christian singles from his father's church. One moment he's there, running ahead on the trail in his orange jacket and Mickey Mouse shirt. 11 adults. Broad daylight. Clear weather. The next moment, nothing. No scream. No splash. No trace. The search dogs picked up his scent leading up the mountain, away from the trail, away from safety. Then the trail simply ended, as if Jaryd had been plucked from the earth itself. 4 years later, hikers discover his remains on a steep mountainside, 12 miles from where he disappeared. His clothes folded neatly beside him. His shoes placed side by side. A 3-year-old child doesn't do that. Welcome to the Paradox Archive, where we examine the cases that don't just go unsolved, they go unexplained. Tonight, we open the file on Missing 411, the pattern of disappearances that suggests America's national parks are hiding something far darker than bears or bad luck. Between 1900 and today, thousands have vanished in America's wilderness areas. Most are found. Some are never seen again. But there's a subset, a disturbing cluster of cases that share impossible commonalities. Former police detective David Paulides spent years investigating these disappearances. What he found wasn't random, it was a pattern. The victims are often young children or experienced outdoorsmen, the most vulnerable and the most capable. They disappear near water sources, near boulder fields of granite rock, near berry patches. They vanish during sudden, inexplicable weather changes, storms that roll in within minutes, erasing tracks, grounding helicopters, scattering search parties. And when they're found, if they're found, it's in locations that make no sense. Dennis Martin, 6 years old, disappeared in the Great Smoky Mountains in 1969 during a family camping trip. Massive search. No trace. Bloodhounds lost his scent immediately, which is nearly impossible for a child on foot. He was never found. Keith Parkins, 2 years old, vanished from his family's campsite in Uinta Mountains, Utah, 1952. Discovered the next day 19 miles away across a mountain range, through terrain a grown man would struggle to cross. He was alive, unharmed. He couldn't explain how he got there. Firefighter Gerald Largay, experienced hiker, disappears on the Appalachian Trail in 2013. Her remains are found 2 years later, less than 2 miles from the trail. Thousands of searchers had combed that exact area. Oh, the patterns continue. Victims found without shoes, even in freezing conditions. Clothing removed or torn in ways that suggest something. Bodies discovered in areas searched multiple times by trained professionals. And perhaps most disturbing, the silence. Search dogs are among the most reliable tools in rescue operations. Their noses can detect a human scent days old, miles away, underwater. But in Missing 411 cases, the dogs behave strangely. They refuse to track. They circle, whine, and retreat. In some cases, they won't even enter certain areas of the forest. Then there are the searches themselves. Infrared helicopters fly overhead. Nothing. Ground teams comb grid patterns. Nothing. Divers search lakes and rivers. Nothing. Then, days or weeks later, a body appears in a location that was searched a dozen times, lying in the open, as if placed there. And when families ask questions, when researchers request records, they hit walls. The National Park Service doesn't keep a centralized database of disappearances. They claim it would be too difficult, too expensive. But they track wildlife deaths, trail erosion, and campsite usage with meticulous detail. Why not missing persons? Freedom of information requests are denied, delayed, or heavily redacted. Park rangers, when pressed, offer rehearsed responses. Some refuse to discuss certain cases entirely. What are they protecting? Or what are they protecting us from knowing? If these cases disturb you as much as they do us, if you believe the truth is worth pursuing even when it leads into the dark, subscribe to the archive. Help us uncover what's been buried, because this is only the beginning. So what's taking people from our national parks? Let's examine 3 theories. Theory A, the logical explanation. The wilderness is unforgiving. Hypothermia causes paradoxical undressing. Victims feel burning hot and remove their clothes. Disorientation explains erratic movement. Predators scatter remains. Terrain hides bodies. Human error and bad luck account for the rest. This theory is clean, rational. This is what we want to believe. But it doesn't explain the dogs. It doesn't explain the placement of bodies. It doesn't explain children traveling impossible distances. And it certainly doesn't explain the silence from the Park Service. Theory B, the conspiracy. Some researchers propose something more sinister. Feral humans living in cave systems beneath the parks, Aral descendants of lost settlers, or disturbed individuals who've abandoned society. They suggest underground trafficking networks, using the vastness of protected land as cover. Others point to government black sites, covert operations, experiments that require isolation and deniability. There are documented cases of feral people in American wilderness. There are classified military operations in remote areas. But would this explain the sheer number of disappearances? The specific patterns? Perhaps. Or perhaps it's something that doesn't fit inside human understanding at all. Theory C, the paradoxical. What if the patterns aren't about who is taken, but where they're taken from? Granite concentrations, electromagnetic anomalies, places where compasses spin, where electronics fail, where the very fabric of space feels thin. Some suggest dimensional doorways, tears in reality where the boundary between here and elsewhere weakens. Victims don't wander off, they slip through. Others whisper of older things, beings that predate human civilization, entities that inhabit the deepest woods, attracted to the innocent and the isolated. Indigenous peoples across North America have stories. The Wendigo, the Kushtaka, the Deer Woman. Different names, same warning. There are places in the forest where humans are not meant to go, where something watches, waits, hunts. Folklore? Maybe. But folklore often remembers what history forgets. Jaryd Atadero's father still visits the mountains searching for answers. Dennis Martin's family spent decades hoping for closure. Hundreds of families live in the agonizing space between loss and mystery. The question isn't just what happened to these people. It's what's still happening. Is the forest just dangerous? A beautiful, indifferent killer that takes the unlucky and unprepared? Or is something in those trees actively choosing its victims? We've only scratched the surface tonight. There are more cases, stranger cases, cases that suggest the missing 411 phenomenon isn't limited to national parks, or even to America. So tell us, what do you believe? Natural predator, human conspiracy, or something beyond explanation? Share your theory in the comments below. The archive is watching and listening until the next file is opened. This is the Paradox Archive.